It's Wednesday night, and that means it's time for the Lamar Thomas Show, featuring the greatest receiver in the history of college football. Just ask him, Lamar Thomas.
I was born in Ocala, Florida. I moved to Gainesville to go to high school. Been recruited probably since the 9th grade, illegally, I might add, by the University of Florida. I still can remember Coach Solinger, Don Solinger, coming out to our practice one day. Here it is, this guy comes out in the University of Miami jacket, and I said, I can't believe that's Miami out here. And, you know, I wanted to go up and say, hey, I'm Lamar Thomas. And actually, I did walk up to him and I said, hey, Coach, I'm Lamar Thomas. And he said, I know. And that was the start of my relationship with the University of Miami.
Having another good block, and Toretto lays it out. Touchdown, Miami.
You come down here, you'll be on TV every weekend, dominating. I thought about it. I said, man, where do I sign? My mom, on Saturday mornings, I would wake up and she'd be holding my hand. I thought she was the weirdest lady in the world. But she was holding my hands and she would be rubbing them and saying, one day these hands are gonna make you a lot of money. She was smart.
So now, here he is, the great one, along with co-host Gary Ferman of CaneSport.com, Lamar Thomas.
There he is. Can you hear me, LT?
I can hear you, my friend.
And I can hear you. You made it to the start line. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Lamar Thomas Show. Been a little bit of a hectic last 5 minutes or so, but we got it done. We got it here. The modern wonders of technology have come through, and there he is, live and in living color, the great one, Lamar Thomas. And we welcome you to another Wednesday night of the Lamar Thomas Show, presented by Caneswear and several other sponsors that we will be talking about in a minute, and I'm going to get them up on the screen right now. We got a really, really, really special show for you guys tonight. Heisman Trophy winner Gino Torretta is going to be joining us, and this is a big week for Gino. Obviously you win the Heisman. That's the pinnacle of college football. This weekend, Gino's having his jersey retired by the University of Miami, and I'm going to be interested. I'm going to be interested, Lamar, to hear Gino comment on what's more significant to him: the Heisman Trophy that sits, I assume, in his living room that he looks at every day, or the fact that his jersey is about to be retired by the U and will forever, hang up. I guess at Hard Rock, as long as they're playing at Hard Rock, and any other future stadiums that they play at. Gino very well.
Mm-hmm.
You have a great hand in what he was able to accomplish. What do you think will mean more to him?
I think that the whole body of work, as far as what he was able to accomplish during that time, and it's a great. I mean, this is one of the highest honors you could get. To be up in your stadium where your college plays their game, the Ring of Honor, as they say, and getting your jersey retired. I mean, you basically done everything possible, and him and Sapp are two of the most decorated Canes of all time. So, once Gino's jersey is retired, they probably should do Sapp's. But for those guys to set out on that journey and to get everything they deserve after the game is over, I think it's awesome. They're two of the greatest players that ever played. Gino had an outstanding career. at the University of Miami. I was there with him, so I'm a little biased the whole time. So I got to see his maturing process. Got to see him go through some ups and downs, and watch what he was able to do for us and win ball games. And that's what he was. He's a winner, and that's what I could take away from Gino. He's a winner.
I don't think you're going to see Sapp's jersey retired anytime soon after that tweet. After that tweet he sent out last week, just being honest, I mean, like he might have burned that bridge.
Well, it's like anything, Gary. I truly believe this, and it's unfortunate that that when you leave it in the hands of other people, feelings get involved. It's just like anything. Hall of Fame. There's some guys that should be in the NFL Hall of Fame, but feelings are involved, and they've done some things maybe in the past. But the point is, what you set out to do, you accomplished. And if you do cocaine, if you've been accused of killing somebody, these things happen, and you eventually get in. And just like with Sapp, hey, whatever he's done, it doesn't matter what he's done. And what he did when he was playing, he deserves to be in. Just like with Gino, they deserve to have all the honors they get, whether they say anything negative about the program from this point on. I truly believe that because of the body of work they put in, they should be able to get that. Now, how they're accepted after that, that's on them. But I think that no matter what Sapp tweets or says, he still deserves to have the same honors as the highest. I mean, it's hard, man. It's hard when I see other guys going to the NFL Hall of Fame, and some guys deserve to go in, but feelings are involved, and maybe they've done some things that people didn't like. But the point is, as a player, they did everything they were supposed to do. You can't take O.J. Simpson out of the Hall of Fame. Can't. Sorry. You can't take Michael Irvin. I don't care if he goes and does 100 lines. You can't take him out of the Hall of Fame. So It is what it is.
Yeah, it's an interesting viewpoint. I mean, I think posting a picture of the quarterback getting led off the field in handcuffs, took it a little bit extreme. But I don't know.
He's passionate, Coach. Hey, he's just as passionate as anybody else. He's hurt. He wants to see this program do well. We all bleed orange and green. Now we might voice it in different ways, just like talking to Mario. We've had disagreements, but the point is we're all Hurricanes and we're all trying to get there. It's just that some people go about it different ways. And you being the head coach, you can't do certain things. Sapp, being Sapp, he can do whatever he wants to do. He's not getting paid by the university, so whatever he says is what he says. Now, but we all want the same thing. We want to win. We all want to get back to the glory days. It's just that we're all going about it different ways, and, it is what it is.
All right. Well, we have so many things to unwrap here before Gino comes on in about 20 minutes. So, but the first thing I'll say is tonight's show is presented by CaneSport. You see Lamar in the store there. You see the store behind me here tonight. CaneSport has the largest collection of Miami Hurricanes gear ever assembled. You can go to their shop at their store at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, or you can go to caneswear.com. The Florida Beach Bowl is also a sponsor of the Lamar Thomas Show. They will be coming to Drive Pink Stadium. LT, no one's wearing that jacket down here.
Hey, for all you up north people, okay? You're coming down, you come to games, get you some of this gear, baby. If I was up north and I was a Hurricane fan, I definitely would rock this. This is sweet. I love these vests, man. Come on in here. We got about 10 or 12 of them. You better hurry up before they go.
Just go on. If you live up north and you have use for that jacket, just go on caneswear.com right now and order that.
Hours a day, 24/7.
Now that Lamar's put it on, they'll be blowing them out here over the next hour or two. But the Florida Beach Bowl is also a sponsor of the Lamar Thomas Show, and they have a bowl game coming to Drive Pink Stadium in a few weeks for historically Black colleges. And AC Tellison, who we now can reveal after all these weeks of mystery, we now can finally reveal that AC Tellison is behind the Florida Beach Bowl. He will be joining us in the 9 o'clock hour tonight. We're looking forward to that. The law firm of Rotson and Faxadomo, Can't forget them. If you ever get yourself in a bind, maybe for doing some of the things Lamar was describing a moment ago, you can call Mickey over there at Ratson and Faxadomo, and they will make sure that they give you the best representation possible. They're aggressive. They're good. So they're a sponsor of tonight's show. Williamson Cadillac, where Lamar goes to buy all his cars. You can go down there and see Jermaine Chambers, former Cane, is in the finance department. He will absolutely hook you up with the best deal on a new Cadillac. And LT, who else? Do we have a sandwich tonight?
Oh yeah. We definitely got the sandwich. Hold on.
We can't forget La Spada Sub Shop next door to Cane's
right here, baby.
where they hook up Lamar with his ham and cheese sandwich. Oh, and Doritos this week. They threw in a bag of Doritos.
Right. Ham and cheese.
His ham and cheese from La Spada. Honestly, the best sub shop in South Florida. They don't mess around, man. You might need to get your cholesterol checked by the time you're done eating one of their sandwiches because there's so much meat in there. But really, really phenomenal subs. And you can go to La Spada's anytime you go to Cane's, where they're right next door. So have a little lunch, shop for some Cane's gear. Doesn't get any better than that. If it's Saturday and you're going to the Louisville game, you could stop and get some tailgating food and some new clothes to wear, and then head on over to Hard Rock Stadium. Just get an early start. Ask Ken what time they're opening Saturday morning. I hope they're open
at 7. Ken, what time? 7? I think 7. I think it's 7:30.
We'll have to double check that. But they'll be open early Saturday morning since it's a noon home game. So LT,
don't forget Life. Don't forget Life, the gym.
I forgot Life, the gym. Where Lamar's wife goes to get bruised up. That's right. I can't forget Life. They do a great job training, max training and CrossFit. They get people in great shape. Life Athletics, 12330 Southwest 53rd Street in Cooper City. You see it down there on the screen, and we'll talk about them more as the show goes on as well. But LT, I got to get to this Florida State experience on Saturday. Wow, something else, man, something else. These kids are playing their butts off. Okay, they really are, and just nothing's going right, man. It's like, nothing's going right, and I know they've had problems at quarterback, but I mean, there's some other things going on too. I mean, I don't know enough about what it is, so I don't want to get too crazy here. Right. But we are not putting a representative passing game out on the field. Let's be honest. I mean, if they don't hit that 80-yard play to Jacoby George when the two FSU guys basically ran into each other and took themselves out of the play, you're looking at about 120 yards passing on the road against the number 4 team in the country. I don't care how well your defense plays, and they couldn't have played much better. I mean, you had cornerbacks that had barely played, locking down 2 of the best receivers in the country. I mean, Deion Coleman had, I think it was 24 yards receiving in that game. He might be a first-round draft pick, Lamar. I mean, what a job Miami's defense did. Lance Guidry did. Unbelievable. I mean, they were dominant up front. The O-line, I thought, played decent. Maybe not their best game of the year, but the competition was pretty damn good. They were able to bust 3 really good running plays in the second quarter, and you still go home with a loss. And it's kind of like the story of the season. I mean, they've lost 4 of their last 6. The 2 they won were in overtime. Yet, and I wrote about this for our website tomorrow, I'm sitting here thinking, man, this program has really improved and taken a step forward this year. Lamar, they're 10th in the ACC right now. I mean, put it all together for us.
They've gone to basically, we're going to win with our defense. That's the way I look at it. Because they're going to run the ball, power run the ball, whatever run game they got going up the middle, whichever way they get there. Nothing too much side to side. No, not too many trick plays. They'll throw some screens here and there, but they're basically controlling the game by the play calling. And and it's been very vanilla. You Texas A&M game. We were hyped, we were geeked up. They played well against Texas A&M, showed a lot of movement, and it seems like from that point on, it's just kind of going downhill. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It just seems like they've said, okay, listen, we're not going to let our quarterbacks lose the game. We're going to run the ball. We're going to hope to break some plays, but we're not going to let our quarterbacks lose the game for us. We're not going to let that happen. So it's kind of boring in a way to watch.
Here's what bothered me. It's like, if that's all, and I understand you're playing a true freshman in his second game on the road at Bill Campbell Stadium, you're scared to death, okay?
Yeah.
But the thing that bothers me, if that is what all you're going to be able to do, then you can't go in that direction. You got to ride with Tyler again. You have no choice, okay? At some point, you got to hope that the real Tyler reemerges. I mean, and obviously that's the situation they're in here for the Louisville game this weekend. And we talked to Tyler today, and man, he sounded like a whole different guy. Like, I don't know who's been talking to him or who he's been seeing or what he's doing. He seems to have cleared his head and is trying really hard to come into Hard Rock Stadium Saturday in the right place mentally. But I just don't see how, like, and I feel for Mario and I feel for Shannon Dawson, and I know none of this has gone the way they wanted it to this year, but you're not going and beating Florida State on the road. I don't care how physical you think you are. I don't care how good your offensive line is. I mean, the defense couldn't have played any better. Lance Guidry can't possibly get those kids. It's not like you're going out there with first-round draft picks.
But by the way, and I don't mean to cut you off, he's up for the Broyles Award. He's up for the Broyles Award.
Yeah.
But we can't really say the Broyles Award down here. We lost a lot of credibility.
Oh, because of Gaddis, yeah.
We lost a lot of credibility.
I mean, he's not going to win it because they don't have the record, but it's nice to see Lance Guidry get some recognition. Yeah. He has done a spectacular job this year. But what I was getting at is you're not going up there and winning that game with 120 yards passing. There's just no way. I mean, they did an unbelievable job hitting Florida State on those 3 running plays.
Yes.
But Florida State adjusted, Lamar.
And the screen. They hit him on the screen too.
Yeah. But Florida State adjusted. And they started putting extra guys in the box, daring them to throw the ball. You got to be able to do it.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was going to come down to. You look at, we were able to get away with it against Clemson. They put everybody in the box and said, we're just going to stop the run. And we threw the ball well. Our receivers made some hella plays, and we were able to pull the game out. But it's one of those things where, you look at number 17, Emory, and what he was able to do. He made some good plays, but you could tell he was still a freshman, and
yes,
it'd be interesting to hear what was going through Geno's head, getting his first. Well, now I don't know if it was his first start, but going into Doak Campbell after Craig went down. And, was there any change in the game plan? Or, not that I know of, but, what the thought process was, maybe what the coaches were telling him, but, it's a big experience to be able to go up there. I think this gives this kid, Emory Williams, I think gives him confidence. And, unfortunately he got hurt at the end, but, he sold out. He sold out to get the first down and ended up getting hurt. So, to me, that says a lot about who he is and about who this kid is, and I'm anxious to see him when he gets back. I mean, he left a lasting impression on the fans. I mean, you got hurt stretching out to get a first down to try to win the ball. Yes.
But I admit it. My frustration has runneth over. I mean, I am. I mean, I am so frustrated, and I'm frustrated for Mario because I don't feel he has enough to show for the good work that they have done in the program. I was really bothered by the end of the first half. I didn't think they managed the last minute or two very well. when they got the ball down there and they could have spiked it and maybe gotten an extra play or two, try to score a touchdown, and they ended up just settling for a field goal. Like that was screwed up. And then it was worse, Lamar. You get the ball back with 4 minutes left, and you don't have a 2 minute offense, hurry up offense scripted up and ready to go, man. I mean, you got a chance to turn 2 possessions there if you play it right. You go down, you score, you kick off to Florida State, you stop them, you get the ball back, and you have a chance to go kick a field goal to win the game. 4 minutes is plenty of time to get that done. And man, we just let that 4 minutes just go by the wayside. I mean,
you think about, but if you watch the way we played all year, going into halftime, we just tried to go in there and then, either have the lead or be tied or just play, for that. And, Florida State, give them credit. They came out second half and said, hell with this. We're going to onside kick. And Frank Latson, of all people, makes a great play to recover the onside kick. And do we get any points out of that? I don't. Did we even? I think we might have got 3 out of it.
We might have gotten 3 out of it. I think we got 3 out of it. Yeah. But yeah, he made a great play.
Man, we need that out there on the outside. I mean, hell,
I know. Can you imagine? How does a kid that could make a play like that? He can't even sniff the field as a receiver. It's unbelievable. All right, let's bring in our voice of the fan, Bruce Warner, who I know is plenty fired up by the goings on.
I'm not fired up anymore. I'm like you, Gary. I think the word for the fans, we're numb. I'm numb. I can't believe what I've seen this year. All the good and all the bad and all the mistakes. We're talking about the record. Once again, he takes a knee. We're 7-3. Looks a lot better than 6-4. That's just what I think. But I'm looking at some of these things. Clock management has been a problem all season, not just the other day. Would you agree? Timeouts and when he takes them, a problem all season.
Too many wasted.
He's overly conservative, I think, which is what you guys just mentioned. And that adds to some of this stuff. Now, the Van Dyke, as you said last year, Gary, there were a lot of outside influences that affected him. And I think it happened again this year for some reason or other. Maybe people are blowing smoke up his behind and he's struggling. And, he walks out of the stadium and there's stuff going on in his head and he can't figure it out. But, there's issues in there. The tight end or the lack thereof. I mean, Lamar, you play with tight ends. The tight end is not there. It must really be bad if he can't get on the field. 84 can't catch. He's open, but once in a blue moon. And Arroyo's hurt. Now, that's a big help to a guy, a young kid or Van Dyke, to be able to check it down to a tight end who's got single coverage. We've had tight ends for the last 40 years. So he's looking at the wide receivers. We all know he's had problems checking down and going to the running backs in the flat, which he still should be doing. And I think Williams should have been doing it as well. And I thought also last week, that Fletcher was just slow to the hole. And Chaney was spectacular. What a difference between those two guys just on Saturday. And yet he comes back in the game in the fourth quarter with the same issues, running into the defensive guys and not moving, not spinning. There was a play he could have gone to his right and had taken it further. So it's not all on Van Dyke. There's the whole offense is just not in sync anymore.
Yeah, vision by the running backs has been an issue all year. As well as they've done, they've missed a lot of holes.
Yes, they have.
I can tell you this. Watching, I think it was Chaney run the ball. The 2 times he broke through the hole, my opinion, of course, I thought that he was making sure he protected the ball.
Oh, yes.
100%.
He doesn't want to do that again.
Yeah, so that's just my opinion. I mean, as mad as I was, oh, man, why didn't he go see the right one? He was making sure he was protecting that football.
And he was carrying people down the field on his back, too.
Yeah, so I can't really.
Fletcher doesn't do that often.
They were gashing Florida State on those plays, but the thing that I think they're missing is the anticipation of the next thing. Like when you're gashing Florida State like that in the second quarter, like they're going in at halftime and they're adjusting to that. I mean, you got Randy Shannon.
Then play action. They came up to stop the run. Then play action. Take chances. Dan, what are you doing? You're playing right into their hand.
I don't know what their main defensive coordinator's name is, but he's got Randy Shannon sitting there next to him too, who's coached defense for 30, 40 years, whatever it is at this point. They're going to make an adjustment at halftime to take that away in the second half, most likely. Okay,
Well,
so
I saw the safety coming down in the box.
Yes.
Kind of like Clemson, and we were still trying to run the ball. We broke, I think, 2 long runs because the safety took the wrong angle when he came down. We were able to break it outside and get it down to, I think, inside the 5-yard line on one of those long runs. But at the same time, you got to make them pay for bringing that safety down there. So you got to be able to throw the ball outside and make some plays to get them to go back and even that thing up a little bit.
And have a play action game ready to go. And these are the little things that I see that are falling through the wayside this season. Really in every game. I mean, and the thing that's scary about it is they've made so much progress as a program.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not crazy that they could be undefeated right now. I mean, it's as crazy as it is. Look at the games they've lost. I mean, North Carolina, they had a bad third quarter, and
but they were winning in that game.
Yes, they were, but they had a bad third quarter, LT, because and Lance Guidry, God bless him, he's had a great year. His one blip the entire year was at North Carolina. He was not ready for that fast, turbocharged, up-tempo offense. And they couldn't get their signals in. They couldn't get lined up. And
He couldn't get players on the field, Gary, because they were just going and going and going. Right.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah. And I mean, that. So, I mean, that screwed up the third quarter of that game. They lose to North Carolina. NC State, the 4th and 1 to go take the lead in the fourth quarter was a very conservative call. Same play, and they just didn't get it done. NC State, let's see, FSU, we've already talked about that's loss number 3. And what am I leaving out? I'm leaving out one of the losses.
Georgia Tech.
Oh, Georgia Tech, the knee. Right. So LT, what I'm getting at is this team and this program, all this progress that they've made, they could be undefeated right now if all these things were just a little bit more tightened up.
But they're all on the offense, Gary, based on what we're talking about here.
All but one thing.
The talent level's better, the defense is better, but the offense is stuck with better players, no less, and a great offensive line. So
a defense that's playing without its 2 best defensive ends, by the way.
Right.
Well, I can tell you this, they definitely need to continue to. I mean, it's getting late in the ball game. We got 2 games in the bowl game, but you still have to somehow find those leaders, because you think about this team. If I'm not mistaken, a lot of these guys can come back, and so with that being said, it shouldn't even be some of these guys shouldn't even be thinking about the next level. They should be thinking about
on the offense. I think Latson leaves, but everybody else could and should come back.
Yes.
Well, the 2 guys on the offensive line are gone too, but we're talking about the skilled people.
Is Restrepo a senior?
He's coming back.
He's coming back. I mean,
he'll be back.
He'll be back.
Trying to find out if what the quarterback situation is, whether we're going to go out and get another quarterback, or if the quarterback's going to stay. There's all kind of. But our O-line, if we can keep them intact, that's a positive. Obviously, something needs to happen with the tight ends. We know that. The receivers, I think, will be good. All those guys are here. Running back, we should be fine as long as everybody's happy. It's just the quarterback. You got to make sure.
And you have an elite running back coming in and recruiting. Hopefully that sticks for the next month. And Kevin Riley from Alabama.
I want to see Citizen play. It's been 2 years.
Well, Citizen, we'll see. He's got to make it back from that injury. But we lost Lamar for a moment. But hopefully he makes it back because Gino's here, ready to go. But Gino, hang in there, man. We're waiting for Lamar to resurface. He should be back in a minute.
I think he did it on purpose because Gino's coming up.
Yeah, probably. but no, you talk about the quarterback. and they do have to figure all that out here in the next few weeks, because if Tyler's coming back, not coming back is a huge thing. And then even if Tyler is coming back, do you still go in the portal and get somebody to compete with Tyler? And
I say yes.
I don't think you have a choice.
Right. And Emery compete with him too, because
Of course, Emery's definitely going to be in the mix. Yeah, he'll be there. But I'm not. He still has development. He's in the very beginning stages of his development.
But he showed guts. He showed guts.
100%. He's a great kid. Great kid. The other kids love him. They will play for him. He's going to have a very good career at Miami. I just don't know that you're ready to put the whole program's hands on his shoulders at the start of next season. Like, you have to
go out to the portal and get the best guy you can get. That's all.
You got to go. Yeah, you probably got to go that route, like what Oregon did, and they went and got Bo Nix from Auburn, and it's taken them to a whole nother level as a football team. So they have a lot of these things to figure out here. In the next couple weeks, really, because the portal opens December 4th, and
when you're reading your message board, Gary, here he is.
You're keeping Gino waiting, Lamar. I couldn't bring Gino on without you being here.
It's true. That's true. I'm back. Let's go.
All right, so we're going to worry about next year's quarterback later in the show, but right now we're going to bring Gino Torretta in, and very, very exciting time in his life with his jersey being retired on Saturday. Gino, welcome back to the Lamar Thomas Show. We're all just so thrilled for you, and I know Lamar's got a million things he wants to ask you and say, but I just, while I'm introducing you, my biggest question that we discussed a minute ago was, what means more? The Heisman Trophy that you look at in your living room every day, or getting your jersey retired on Saturday?
I think they're both pretty good. Hopefully this audio is working all right. I can't hear you. I hear it through my things, but I mean, obviously it's a tremendous honor. Brings back a lot of obviously great memories. Lamar and I came in as let's see, young 17-year-old kids, and we turned into adults, or we turned into a majority age. I'm not sure if Lamar's an adult yet, but no, it's just it was just,
he knows you, LT.
It was obviously a lot of great memories. I mean, from the scout team to getting thrown in as a starter as a redshirt freshman, and then Lamar was obviously played a lot more than me besides those 4 games, but all of those times, winning a couple of championships, I mean, it's just obviously a lot of great memories. A lot of great memories.
Gino, you bring up you getting one of those early starts, and we just had where a true freshman, got a start up there in Tallahassee. I think back to that game. I don't remember us, and correct me if I'm wrong, did they change anything? Did they say, oh, you can't do this, or you can't do that? Or did they say, okay, man, go get this win?
Well, we threw the ball in the first play, and I promptly threw a pick. So, no, they didn't change anything of the game plan.
That's right.
So, I had to throw it to a Hall of Famer. I gave Leroy Butler his start, So, but, yeah, we started off slinging it, and, it was one of those things. I don't think we ever changed the game plan on who played. I think we changed the game plan based on, okay, this is where we see our best matchups. And I think, those games, were just brutal. I mean, Mickey Andrews was play through the whistle, and they played through the whistle. And, our guys, I mean, I don't know about you, but probably we'd have had 6 or 7 guys on both teams disqualified every time we played, just from the level of hitting that happened. But no change in the game plan. I think, the one thing we did that was promptly scrapped. I don't know if you remember this, but up there we had the speed option in when Coach Erickson got to Miami, and obviously I'm like, yeah, I can run the speed option. We can do that, and we called it inside the 5 going in, and I thought I was like Jamel Holloway. I took the snap, took like one step back and turned to my right, and I don't know who it was, Footman or one of them big old D tackles. They had blown up the guard. Dude's in my lap, and Erickson, I remember when because it was like after a timeout, and he goes,
Right.
"Okay, if you get in any trouble, just toss it to Alex." So toss it to AJ. And Alex Johnson was like fastest guy on the team. I'm like, all right, man, this dude's in my lap. I tossed it to AJ. 4 dudes were in his lap. He had no chance. I mean, it was like it was, and I can say that that play was never called again while we were there. It might have been called one for Ryan Collins a few times, but it was never called again for us.
Yeah, Geno and option didn't go together.
Hey, positive yards rushing, baby. We getting 3rd and long. You know I got a couple of those babies.
Hey, Geno, I'm sitting here looking at this list of some of your most memorable starts. Okay.
And where'd this list come from? From you?
No, well, if they came from me, it'd be a little different.
It would be memorable starts where Lamar was taken care of.
Touching the ball a lot. It says here, it starts off with October 14th, 1989. Miami versus San Jose State. What do you remember from that game?
Well, I will say this. I would go the start before. So let's go the start before because Erickson got hurt at Michigan State, so I came in, I think 3/4 of that game, played that game.
Yes.
My first start, which I'm a little shocked that UM didn't say, here's the most memorable or one of, is the first one. We played Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
And I was 13 of 16, 3 touchdowns, and we were up 42-0 at half. And at that point in time, I still remember Coach Erickson at halftime was like, all right, we're going to put Forte in because we need him to get some experience as the backup. And I'm like, all right. So I thought I had a pretty good day. Actually, I was 14 of 16. Just one went to the other team with three tuds in a half, and that was pretty good. And then the San Jose State game, I can remember I was playing against a kid, and I don't know if you remember Kel Liebengood. His dad was like on the news in San Francisco, one of the top sportscasters. And I played with him in a high school all-star game, like our county games. And I remember as we're preparing, I'm like, man, this dude's starting at linebacker? I thought he was like a DB wideout when we were in high school. I'm like, this isn't going to be good for them. And all I remember is I think we ran 82 plays. They blitzed 78 of them.
Yes, they did.
Double Eagle Bear. And it was the hardest hit I've ever been hit in my life in that game. I got smoked throwing the ball away. And I just remember coming up the line. What's that?
32 of 49.
32 of 40. Well, I mean, we threw it because, heck, Lamar, just frickin' check it. If it, as long as it's going to work, just check it. If they're going to frickin' give you the hitch. So, I mean, I ought to, but you know what our game plan was. If you're going to blitz, you're going to put pressure. Like, I mean, even I see it now and I'm broadcasting the game. I'm like, throw it. They got man coverage. I mean, your guys on the outside, that's what they want. Just throw it. Why try to run into a brick wall of too many guys coming? So I just remember audibling a bunch. I remember Lou Cristobal wanting to kill me because I called one of those plays on first sound going into the open end of the OB. And I came up and, we thought they weren't going to blitz, called on first sound. It was like inside zone, like a run play. And I'm like, all right, they're blitzing. We're not running, or it's probably draw if they were blitzing. So I'm like, I start audible. So before I start, I go easy. Lou jumps off sides. Man, I literally thought, I was like, man, my own teammate's going to hurt me in the huddle. I mean, like Bobby Garcia and Sully had to step in and they're like, hey, Lou, relax, man. The kids are freshmen. So I threw you your first TD out on the right side. I saw 6'3". I saw 6'3" against 5'8", and I didn't care how high he can jump. I knew how high you could. So I was as Chris T said, throw it up.
Hey, Gino, don't take from me now. The guy was 6'1". So
Okay.
he was 6'1", and I put
Well,
my knee
you
on top
had
of his
you
helmet.
had an advantage, and we had put in too much time throwing fade routes on the scout team. So I was audible and getting you the rock.
That was my first touchdown. I appreciate that. September 12th, 1991. Number 2, Miami against Houston.
That was
Beatdown.
one of the loudest games ever in the Orange Bowl.
Yep.
That was I think Houston came in beating somebody like 70-12, and they were talking all kinds of smack. I remember obviously Klingler was one of the front runners for the Heisman. He won the September Heisman Award back then, and I remember their coach. That crackpot Jenkins. He had a megaphone on the sidelines trying to yell the plays in. And the fans figured it out. I mean, it was like it was deafening when defense was out there. Man, you couldn't hear yourself think. Here's what I remember. I threw 4 touchdowns. I think I was 19 of 35. And the only reason I remember 19 of 35, Lamar, is after the game in the tunnel, my mom says, you weren't 50% completions in the second half. So apparently I didn't have a good enough second half for her. You know, I threw the four touchdowns in the first half.
Yes, you did. Kevin Williams got 2, and I got 2.
Yeah, that was. I think that was the hitch and go. They had a sorry DB out there trying to guard you. I was like, yeah, we'll hitch and go by him.
That's right, and I got it. October 12th, 1991. Number 2, Miami versus number 9, Penn State.
At home, I remember it being just brutally hot.
Yeah.
I remember their guys were sitting on their helmets into the first quarter. I think Dub returned a punt like 80. I think High C had like an 80-yard TD.
Yep.
But they had a chance to beat us, and I remember like Saka scrambling, and then who did he throw it to? I think he threw it to Casey or Ryan at the end of the game, and
Darryl Williams.
or Darryl. So
caught it and got on the line and ran out of bounds, which we've seen where that line thing has come back to hurt us for some reason. I don't know why, but and the Penn State guys to this day say that was a safety. So who knows? They lost. Go home, OJ McDuffie.
I remember that brutally hot though. Brutally hot, one of the hardest hitting games, and that was. And I don't know if you remember this, Lamar. That was, and I always talked when D'Onofrio was here. He was their best player on defense, and he had literally one arm strapped down because he had a bad shoulder.
Yes.
And he still had about 15 tackles on us. I'm like, dude, I don't know how you played, but you play with one arm and still were just a beast.
Yeah, he still sucked though. All right.
Come on now.
October 26, 1991. Number 2, Miami. 36, Arizona 9.
I remember Lamar. That was a late game. I remember being very tired because it was like a 7:30 local kick, so it was 10:30 our time kick. At halftime, I remember wanting to go to sleep because it was about 1 a.m. our time because of TV.
You threw 50 passes that game, buddy.
I remember you deciding the day before that you were going to try to score a touchdown without going into the end zone. So I got smoked on some blitz, and I'm laying on the ground, and apparently you ran and stopped and put the ball in the end zone, which caused some consternation, but they still gave you the touchdown. Yes. And I can remember we ran Black X to Patton, and we ran 94X to Coleman. Because they kept blitzing off the edge. They were like, we don't care if your tight end's blocking, we're just going to blitz. We ain't guarding him. And we just dinked a couple behind him. But, yeah, that was a lot of passes. But that was also – well, the next year when we barely beat them 8-7, I still remember Barrow saying, man, the quarterback played middle linebacker last year. So that was that was the start of the Desert Swarm defense, which had Brewski, Partons, and a bunch of some NFL Hall of Famers on it.
All right, we got November 16th, 1991. Number 2,
wide right
Miami.
one.
17, Number 1, Florida State, 16.
I remember get smoked out of bounds,
Double leg gap.
scrambling,
Oh, that's right. You
jacking up my ankle. 4th and 6 to high C.
Didn't they call a personal foul on that? Did we get a? Because they
Oh
hit you
no!
out of
Oh
bounds.
no! They didn't call personal foul. Come on, they didn't call personal fouls back then. 4th and 6 to high C, when your boy T-Buck was lined up 5 yards in the end zone. We were 4th and 6 on the 9. I was like, wow, why is that guy so far deep in the end zone?
He was afraid of the fade.
I know he was, but I mean, you can't run a fade out the back of the end zone, so he just gave us too much room.
We thank him.
I remember getting my shoes spat because of my ankle, and Andy Clary, our trainer, spat both my shoes, covered up the Nike swoosh, and I remember getting called into Coach Erickson's office the next morning and getting yelled at. He goes, "You spat your shoes?" I said, "Yeah, they spat them after I jacked my ankle up." And so apparently he was getting an earful from Nike for covering up the swoosh. I remember. I don't know if you remember this. You guys were in your own world sometimes. I remember calling timeout because they were going to blitz, and it was before Huerta kicked the field goal to go up 19-16 or 17-16.
Well, we only had.
And by the way, we only had 10 players on the field, and he still kicked good field goal. It was good.
Wow.
We called timeout because they were blitzing, and I didn't have enough time to audible. After all the timeout, I go back to the line of scrimmage. They come down in the blitz late, and again, I didn't have enough time to audible, and I call timeout. So we've now called 2 timeouts, run 0 plays, and Coach E, I've never seen him so hot, boy. He was screaming at me in the middle of the field. I screamed back. I can't tell you exactly what I said, but I'm fairly certain I used some choice words.
How many times did he say
I pointed at the 25-second clock, and I said, "There's 2 seconds," and I couldn't audible. And then by the time I got to the side, freaking good job. And he pat me on the head with his ring. I was like, dude, come on, take it easy, man. That hurts when you slapping me on the head with that big old ring.
Freaking. All right. So we got the Horace Copeland field goal to Larry Jones scoring the 1 yard. That was a big win for us. November 30th, 1991, Miami 39, San Diego State 12.
I threw for a lot of yards, I think. That was
single game passing record, 485 yards.
That might have been the best ever in the Orange Bowl. No, shoot, probably Marino or Fouts. I think they threw for 500, I think, when they were having that Thanksgiving battle. But no, that was the same deal. I mean, we had better players. They tried to blitz and hit me, knock me out of the game, and we threw the heck out of it all around the lot. I think by then, Mac was Greedy was hurt by then.
Yeah.
So we were pretty much chucking it all the time.
We racked up a season high 579 total yards.
So we had 90 yards of rushing?
Sounds about right, my friend.
What'd you tell me early? You ain't gonna win the Heisman handing it off.
You ain't gonna win the Heisman handing that bitch off, dog. January 1st, 1992, number 1 Miami versus number 11 Nebraska.
Worst field conditions of the Orange Bowl in our career. That field was painted green, and my jersey still has paint marks all over the back of it. I remember getting the wind knocked out of me, coming out for a few plays, and Frank coming in for a few plays. That was one game I still remember preparing for it, thinking they can't play this defense on us. And we're watching the film, and I'm like, what's his name? The AD now, Trevor Alberts, defensive end. He was a first-round pick, and they would line him up on the first slot receiver, and I'm like, okay, wait a sec. Kevin Williams runs a 4.28. This guy could be 4.5 and legit as a DN, but he ain't gonna cover it. K-Dub. I just remember like kind of shaking my head all game, going, or at least prepared. I'm like, they got to do something different because they're going to get just absolutely crushed, and they got absolutely crushed.
That's what happened to them. By the way, Kevin Williams scored 8-yard touchdown pass early in the game. It says we ran a balanced offensive attack. We ran 85 plays and amassed 439 yards.
Yeah, that was a lot of handing off. Big Larry came in.
And Marucci.
Your boy from Gainesville.
And Marucci got a couple carries.
Did he?
All right.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, he did. September the 5th, 1992. Number 1, Miami versus number 23, Iowa. First game of the year.
I remember Hurricane Andrew wiping out Homestead and a lot of Miami. I remember it was complete disarray as we were before we prepared. I remember calling. Let's see, how did my calls go? Because I live down in the Grove near the water, and I remember calling Clary first and saying, "Hey, what are we doing for this storm?" Well, actually, the first thing, Bernadette was in school, and she said, "What are you guys doing for the hurricane?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? You know, you're in the middle of 2 days. You never turn on TV." And I remember turning on the TV, and that Brian Norcross was like, "Well, winds could go to 200 plus, and people will die in South Florida." And I remember hearing that, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna call a trainer." And he goes, "Well, we got to just see if it's just a little high winds first." And I went off. I was like, "Dude," I go, "I'm on the water down in the Grove." I go, they set a 15-foot seawall and 200 mile an hour. People are going to die. I'm not staying here. And then I called Coach Arnold, and he was like, his advice, "Well, I guess we just got to batten down the hatches." And then remember we showed up in the morning for a Saturday scrimmage. And they made, like, everybody wanted to get out of town. And Coach Erickson, at that point, he said, "Okay, see you Tuesday." And it was like a mad rush out of the locker room, you know. And then I went north. Duskowski lived up in Palm Beach. We were like, okay, go north because it's supposed to hit south. And but that first game, you know, that record still stands. That's the most passing yards in Niall Kinnick Stadium, 433. But I remember what's another funny story? Oh, Simonette, your boy Simonette started at guard, and we flipped sides, and we were getting killed in the middle. And we come out the game, and I'm like, "What the?" I mean, I'm screaming at the O-line. You know what I mean? I'm like, it wasn't. I was like, "Dude, our national championship hopes are going to be gone in week 1." And Simonette was like, "Well, I can't hear," and I'm like, "Well, I can't either. Yeah, it's really loud." He goes, "No, I'm deaf in my left ear." And I'm like, "And you're lining up at right guard?" I go, "How are we flipping guards if you don't, you know?" So I do remember that. I remember, what's his name? Tom Arnold paying some guy a couple $100 to streak the field, the actor, because the guy was annoying him. But so he paid him a couple $100 to streak the field so he could get rid of him. And then, I remember the pink locker room in Iowa.
Do you remember your number 1 receiver showing up the night before the game?
I think you got held out by police escort a couple of those first ones, didn't you?
All these stories that you're telling about the hurricane, I was gone. I wasn't with the team, remember? So so this is the first I'm hearing this because I wasn't with the team. I didn't show up and get with the team until the night before.
But they wouldn't let you play, right? You couldn't play.
Yeah. No, I played.
Did you?
Yeah,
okay.
I played.
All right.
I almost died in warm-ups because I lied to Coach Erickson and told him I was in shape. He said, "You've been freaking working out?" I go, yeah, Coach, I'm good. I got there in warm-ups. I was like, "Shit, I'm tired." And remember, the grass was hot.
You should have known pre-trial diversion. You do that earlier.
Yes. All right. October 3rd, 1992, number 2 Miami against number 3 Florida State.
Opening kick, Vanover going 97.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, "God dog." I said, it's hard enough as it is when we just spotted them 7. I remember getting smoked in that game. I remember getting hit pretty darn hard. I remember scrambling for a 13-yarder up the middle or something like that. And we couldn't run the ball so bad. I remember going back and watching this at the end of the game. We got the ball back with like under 2 minutes to go, and we were up by 3 at damn near midfield. And we threw 3 passes in a row. Like, that's how bad we were running the ball. It was like, we're throwing it. We don't even care.
We threw it. We did.
Yeah, and then Michael hitting the hell out of Vanover. I think it was
yeah.
Vanover in the chin on the middle screen, and then obviously the wide right too, which would have been just to tie us. But yeah,
Yep.
heat, humidity. That was also an Orange Bowl game where they ran out of water
Yeah.
right at halftime. I do know that because I remember seeing my family after. They were all beet red, dying of thirst because there was no water in the stadium.
That was the touchdown pass that you threw that you never saw. So
Which one? Oh, well, yeah. I remember. You know what? There's two passes I remember. I remember the touchdown to Coleman, which we ran a fake reverse pass
Yeah.
we had never run, and Coleman was wide open. It was one of those things where I turned on the bootleg, and I'm like, oh man. It was like, where you see a quarterback miss it because it's so wide open.
So wide open.
I remember that one, and then obviously you came in, and if you go back and watch that,
it shouldn't have been allowed.
No, we broke the huddle with 12 guys.
Too many guys on the field, yes.
Yeah, this was, again, that was after a timeout. Like somebody came in as we're breaking the huddle. I'm like, get the hell out of here. And then you told somebody, I'm not the Z. I'm over here at tailback because you knew there could be one-on-one over on the right. And I'm like, all right, well, Lamar's out there. I'm like, I know I'm not going to have any time. They're bringing the house. And I remember throwing it, and I remember just getting lit up kind of sideways, not being able to breathe, and it was the worst feeling in the world. And I could hear the crowd, so I knew you caught it, and that was it.
October 17, 1992, number 1 Miami against TCU.
That one, this is what I remember. Safeties that lined up 8 yards from the ball, thinking, God, why are they doing this to themselves? And we ran the hell out of bang eights and post routes. And I think I threw you one that might have been higher than a Paul Snyder punt because I got just absolutely drilled in the chest. And I think you ran down. You tried to fair catch it, but you can't fair catch a pass play. So, but I think you had a pretty good day too. I think all the wideouts had pretty good days on that day.
Yeah, that was a. We appreciate TCU for coming down. October 24th, 1992, number 1 Miami against Virginia Tech.
I remember that was so great story about that game. They were not very good. No. And Frank Beamer, I've talked to him after that, and he said we were 3-8, and they probably should have fired me. He goes, but they had some faith in me, kept me, and then the guy kept winning, and it turns out in the Hall of Fame coach and takes him to the Orange Bowl and all sorts of bowl games and that. I remember that was one of the few games where I had some time to throw. And I remember one where I was just kind of standing there, kind of slide, and you were out on the right, and then the whole defense is going to the left, and you kind of slid back behind them. You just like standing there. We were like playing pitch and catch. And then I think we were politicking Erickson to pull us all out at halftime.
Yes.
And he said,
we were up 33 points.
And he said, and he was like, no. He goes, and he made us a deal. If you score the first drive, I'll take you guys out. We scored, and I think that was the only time I was ever on an active sidelines. I took my shoulder pads off, put my jersey back on.
We were up 31-3 at halftime.
I also you remember Friday before that game?
No, what happened Friday?
In the stadium? So our defense is doing the dance around, and we're just kind of hanging out on the bench. And Virginia Tech's in their tunnel and wanted to come out and do their walkthrough. Okay. And the guys had circled up to call out guys to dance. And then they noticed the other team was sitting there watching. And then it got nasty, vulgar, and, they wanted to fight us and, all those fun things.
That fight went away. It was gone because it was 31-3 at halftime.
At 58 minutes to go in the game, it left them.
Yes. October 31st, 1992, Miami versus West Virginia.
I remember having 13 or 14 in a row, and High C dropped a bomb like right through his breadbasket. And I didn't know I'd thrown that many completions in a row, but that was one where I was on. Their game plan was to try to pressure, and we blitzed, and we had we had a good day. The skill positions had a damn good day that night.
Toretta spread the ball around to 8 receivers, connecting 8 times with Coleman Bell, throwing 2 scoring strikes to you know who. And then that you know who gave you the Heisman pose.
Yeah, that was terrible. You look like
It was.
Mr. Burns on The Simpsons. Like, you look like you weighed about 155 pounds then at the end of the year. You pull up the Heisman pose. I'm like, if you're gonna do it, do it. Don't
right.
be all crouching
man,
down like you like you had osteoporosis and stuff.
Hey, bro, I didn't even know I was gonna do it. I just felt it. It was emotional. It was like it was a hit and go. Perfect play. Got a new cornerback in there, freshman Aaron Beasley, who went on to play in the NFL for a long time. Tore his ass up. So I felt, oh, man, I got that connection. So let me give my guy the Heisman. It was a terrible Heisman, by the way. But anyway, I'm glad you won.
Didn't High C do a flip that game or no?
No, that was the Temple game.
Oh, okay.
So the last game, November 28th, 1992. Miami, number 1 Miami over San Diego State.
That was basically Marshall Faulk and me for the Heisman, and Marshall was hurt, did not play against our defense. I remember that they were cheap shotting us the entire game. We were beating the hell out of them, and we had a major brawl. And I remember, before the brawl, I remember we were inside the 5. And their Aztec, the mascot, standing at the goalpost, like going into the ground, MFing me in the middle of the field, and I'm like, this can't be legal. The mascot's like screaming at the other team, and I'm like, all right, whatever. And then when the brawl started, I remember sitting on the bench, and all you guys like, you going over there? I'm like, no, what am I going to do in a fight? I'm like, we got pads on. It's stupid to get in a fight. And I remember seeing Dewey run the mascot up in the second deck of Jack Murphy, wanting to start his WWE wrestling career. And I remember Coach Erickson after that. And you still are mad at me for this day because I didn't go back in. He said, "You want to go back in?" I said, "Hell no, they're taking cheap shots. We're up by 4 touchdowns. I'm done." I'm like, I don't want to go back in. And you needed like 1 or 2 catches to set a record.
I needed 1 catch to break the school record, Mike Irvin's record. And let me just read it what it says. The Canes ventured west, rolled past San Diego State 63-17 to complete the second consecutive undefeated regular season campaign. Toretta threw for 310 yards and 1 touchdown. A 24-yarder to Lamar Thomas. Miami racked up a season-high 581 yards, the 3rd best total in school history. Also tied a school record for 35 points in the 3rd quarter.
How do I only have 310 if we had almost 600 yards of offense? Could we run the ball?
I don't know,
Did Costa have like 250 throwing?
I don't know, but let's get back to that. So 1 catch. I needed 1 catch to break the record. And I look.
Hey, I'm sorry, but I didn't know that. When you're going for a record, I already had all the records, so it didn't matter if I came out or not. I'd broken all the records. So if you needed a record, you wanted me to throw it, you should have said, "Come out there."
I look out there. I look back there. It's Frank Costa. I'm like, oh crap. And his only job is to throw me a hitch, and I almost tore my knee up catching that hitch. But I got the record. No thanks to Gino, but it's
you could have told me to go out there. I'd have went out there just for you. I'd have went out there, not for anybody else, but just for you. I'd have went out there.
Remember, Gino, you pulled out of there because there were death threats on Coach Erickson. So everybody was trying to stay the hell away from Coach Erickson. Remember?
I do remember that. There was death threats. Yes, there was death threats on him. Yes, and obviously the San Diego State fans didn't like me because of.
Yes,
because Marshall and I were the leaders for the Heisman.
And just so you know, when he congratulated me, I gave him the quickest hug and run off I'd ever done because I was not getting shot. But those are some of the great games in Mr. Toretta's life. Obviously, the Florida State game is not mentioned. Your first start, the Michigan State, you stepping in. and doing a tremendous job. Obviously, Florida State, you learned on the run. I mean, you learned, hey, it's a big rivalry game. We got through it. We still won a national championship, and obviously those games against
I don't know
Tennessee.
if it's foreshadowing, but I was 19, I lost, and I also shattered my humerus later in the spring. So maybe that'll bode well for Emory. Maybe he'll come back and win a couple against them and a couple of titles and gets his arm right. So
there you go, because we were literally 4-1 against them. You know, we lost to one, but you know it's like that old shirt said. F the game, we got the rain. So you know it is what it is. But Gino, man, I'm definitely looking forward to Saturday. Well, actually Friday night, and then Saturday.
yeah, well, you're worried about my speech. What about your speech Friday? You got to at least you got to say a few words about your boy, don't you?
Hey man, I got this.
You all ready?
This is what I do. This is what I do.
Bernadette wants you to tell the story about me convincing you to stay at Miami when Coach E came in with his tweed jacket. That's what she wants you to. She's like that. I love that story. So.
That was a big moment. That was a huge moment, and I will definitely tell that story tomorrow and maybe Saturday morning. Even though I'm not drinking, I don't drink, but some people will have some mimosas, and we will be out there tailgating, and we will be enjoying the fact that my quarterback, gets his jersey retired. This is a great honor, man. I'm stoked. I'm proud. I'm happy. I wish we could play, but I know we can't. But I just want to say congratulations to you, man. You deserve it.
I wish it was an Orange Bowl, and I promise you, I think we got 4 or 5 plays left in us. That's about it, though. 4 or 5, and
I mean,
Lamar, what do you think of these kids? They wear shorts now to play. They look like you guys. They look like you guys practicing at Green Tree with the thigh pads in and your pants cut up like 8 inches above the knee. I'm like, man, somebody's gonna get whacked in the top of the knee, and it's not gonna feel good. But
how many times did the referees tell me, pull your pants down, Thomas?
Pull your pants down.
Pull your pants down. Thomas.
You got a hip. What was the thing? You got a hip tail pad in. You got a tail pad in.
Put that as knee pad. So.
Well, man, hey, Gino, can I ask you a question? It's been coming up the last couple of weeks. It's something I think the fans want. What are your thoughts on it? Everybody's screaming, we need a dual threat quarterback. Your opinions on what we have, which is usually a pocket guy, or a dual threat quarterback?
Well, I mean, to be dual threat and be good at it, I think there's obviously advantages to that. I mean, it's harder said than done. I mean, not everybody's Tua or Bryce, Young out of Alabama. I think that, Texas. I just did Texas last week. Their quarterback isn't dual threat at all. Yours just sits in the pocket and slings it. I think it's doing what at least Jimmy coaching us, Dennis coaching us. You're going to put your best 11 on the field, and you're going to try to create a game plan around that. And obviously the quarterback is a big position of how you're going to game plan. I think, listen, when Coach Erickson wanted us to go to shotgun, I still went under center. And even if teams knew that we were going to run the ball, because I would go under center, play action, I'd also go under on running plays, because any running back, yes, they want to be running at the line of scrimmage, and they want to be running downhill so they can hit the defense. Mm-hmm. And it just kills me. Everybody in college football nowadays, they sit in shotgun, take a sideways handoff. That's fine if it's draw, second and long, third and long, or something like that, and you get the defense off balance. I think that, listen, when I came here, Gary Stevens wanted to sign a good quarterback every single year. He wanted, but with the transfer portal, with recruiting, with, all this stuff, you didn't really know who was on the roster when we came to school. You knew who the starters were, but Lamar wasn't competing with Michael. Michael graduated and went on in pro. So, you're not sure, okay, what's the depth look like? Now these kids are like, well, who's there? When can I start?
Right.
You know, I mean, Gary
Hey,
Stevens told me not to come to school in Miami. He goes,
hey, you
if
you
you
weren't
come,
worried about Joey Cole?
well, Joey came in with us. To me, like Gary Stevens told me not to come to the school. He said, don't come here. He goes, if you come here, if Steve Walsh does not turn pro early, I'm redshirting Craig Erickson. You are going to be the backup, and I'm giving Craig 2 years to start. And I said, I don't really care. I get 1 year to start, and I got a chance to win a championship and get on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I want to go there. But you're not going to today, these kids, it's like they invest, very little in programs. It's like a year and they're done. I mean, Saban just came out and he's like, no pro scout has ever asked me, how much did this kid play as a freshman? You have to learn. Texas is, I just mentioned Texas because they're fresh in my mind broadcasting our game last week. Ewers is a stud. Malik is outstanding. And then they got Arch Manning, and Sarkisian. He mentioned when he had Carson Palmer, Matt Leinart, Matt Castle, all starters in the National Football League. Is that going to happen again where three guys stay at a school? I'd probably be hard-pressed. But to me is find somebody that you love, whether it's a dual threat, pocket guy, whatever, and design the system around the strengths of the other 10 guys. And if it's, the guys up front, obviously you might be run heavy, then play action off of that. And then, you're utilizing your wideouts and obviously, and, taking shots and things like that. But,
Gino, I think I kind of misstated my question because a lot of these people are saying you cannot win unless you have a dual quarterback.
Oh,
That's
I disagree.
not true.
No,
Yeah. That's what these
I don't think, no. You can win being listen, would I consider Caleb Williams, the Heisman winner from last year, a dual threat? He is a great athlete and he can run.
Right.
He's not an RPO guy. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not running the option and he may run it, sprinkle it in a little bit, but they're not leaning on him being that runner, 50% of the time. He's still a thrower first and dropping back and things like that. I think to me it's more critical of you design what you're doing offensively to the strengths of your 11 guys you're trotting out there on the field.
Right.
And,
but I do think a kid like Drake May can make something out of nothing. Jordan Travis has the ability to make something out of nothing because he can run the ball. But
Bruce, I broadcast a Florida State game during COVID 1 year. I mean, he got booed out of his own stadium, and there was only about 5,000 people there. And I remember thinking, wow, this kid was so fast. I'm like, he should just be on the field. That's what I thought. I'm like I don't care if you're not going to play him at quarterback. Put him at slot receiver. Run him on a reverse and wide receiver pass. Just do something because he can get on the field. So, that's what I'm saying is you can be successful. Just do what their strengths are. I mean, obviously Miami's strengths right now, the offensive line is a strength, and you got two pretty good wideouts on the outside. I mean, they're playmakers.
And the running back.
The running back situation seems like the guys have gotten banged up some. This year they had a lot of depth early, and it was like, man, they were just kind of 1-2 and putting all these guys in, and they were hurting other teams. And I think that in the game last week, I thought that, Emory, I thought, Tyler only played a little bit at the end, but, they had a lot of time to throw. I mean, for a Miami-Florida State game, I know the time, and there was some accuracy issues on some of those passes, and that has nothing to do with being a RPO guy or run pass guy, dual threat guy. That just comes from, there's a great saying: make the routine plays routinely, and when you do that, that's very hard to do. And that's what Coach Erickson, I thought, was so great at, where he was just like, if somebody's going to give you a hitch, if somebody's going to give you a slant, somebody's going to give you a quick out, just take it. Just do it. And I knew Lamar. I knew if it was 3rd and 6, I knew he wouldn't run a hitch at 5 yards if I audibled. I knew he would go to 8.
Right.
And I knew he knew to look for the ball over on the left shoulder versus the right shoulder, or if he was running it out, he always made sure he got the, first down catches with the sticks. Those are all the little things that the quarterback looks good doing it, but it takes the wide receiver knowing, hell, I'm not going to run a route short, make the catch, and get smoked,
Right.
and it's a third down. So you can be successful, being one-dimensional. Is it great when you can run like Caleb or Lamar or Bryce? Heck yeah, it's phenomenal. They can extend the play and all that sort of stuff. But I saw a lot of, I would say, extended plays Saturday where there was a lot of times sitting in the pocket. And we didn't, for whatever reason, play didn't work.
Hey, Gino, before we let you go, just your general thoughts on what you've seen from Tyler Van Dyke this year. It's been shocking to everybody.
Well, I think the confidence level I don't think is there. I think that would probably come from, listen, we had to learn 2 offenses. I learned one our freshman year, so you figure that's only 4 months. So did we really know our first offense? I literally couldn't even tell you one of our plays, from our first offense.
Texas.
Yeah, Texas. Yeah, there you go, which was 88X. So I knew one play, a route concept, but protection, those sorts of things. He's had 3 different coordinators in the last 3 years. I think, he's gotten banged up. He went into the season with ligament damage in his index finger on his throwing hand. I think that has gotten worse. And, I think at times, as any athlete, I mean, it's just he doesn't have the confidence there. And for the confidence, the question is, how do you get it back? I mean, like I played with Herman Moore in Detroit. Herman averaged 22 yards a catch in college, was a first-round pick. He got to the pros, and it was like he got brick hands. And how they brought him back was throwing 6-yard hitches and just catching the ball and saying, okay, if you can get 22 after that, go ahead. And that's how he built his confidence. So if I'm calling plays for a quarterback that doesn't have the confidence or is looking to gain confidence, I think you're going to rely on the running game. You're going to play action the hell out of teams. I would throw short. I would tell the quarterback, throw short. Take your first read. Throw a flat route. Throw a hitch. Throw those types of passes. Screens are QB's friend because, I mean, I threw an 88-yarder to Wesley Carroll, was in the slot. Nobody covered him. I just stood up, threw him the ball. The ball didn't go 1 yard downfield, and he ran 88 with it. So those are the kinds of plays that can build a quarterback's confidence.
And they're not playing with a tight end either, Gino. Arroyo went down, and they're really
that's why. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like so you're like I think now that like this team is so I would say very different than what beat A&M because you had the tight end. So now what's their option? Now you're going to say a 3 wide, 2 back look. I would probably guess they don't even have that formation.
They've had 2 backs before.
No, but with 3 wides, no tight end.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a whole different look. It's a whole different protections for what's the line doing, which back's blocking a route. You can only throw so many dodge routes to Restrepo in the slot.
Right.
I mean, people just clamp. I mean, if you watch them, it's like, people will drop a tackle and they just basically they go to 6 or 7 yards and say, okay, this kid's going to go in or out. The D lineman's got that inside, the safety's got the outside, and he's doubled on every play.
They have the safety over the top of him now because they've been going to him so much. Now they've taken him away. He hasn't done much in the last 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, because they double him. You can't. I mean, the only way you beat a double is splitting a double. But then you're talking about, listen, that's a hard throw up the seam, and if you're a true freshman, you don't want to turn the ball over. That's not a play if I'm a quarterback. I mean, I had enough confidence in myself where I would just tell Coach Erickson during a week of preparation, I don't like the play. Mm-hmm. And it looked great on film. It looked great, on a blackboard, but in my mind, I didn't see it, and I was concerned. I'm like going, if I don't see it and they do this, and I don't see it, it's going to be a pick. So, I think it's, he's just got to get his confidence back, and that it will take the other 10 guys around him picking him up, and that's how it is. That's why it's the greatest team sport we watch. I mean, the quarterback has all the credit, but he relies on all 10 of those guys around him to do their job. And he needs it more now than ever.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of getting all the credit, you get your jersey retired, baby. Woo! Wait. I can look up there and say, hey, see the 1 and the 3. The 3 is for 36, the first number.
Well, when we get old, we can reminisce, or we already all are old. So,
Hey, brother.
Can we buy one in the store at least with a 13 on it? That's okay, right?
you know, I don't even know. You know, it's crazy. It's like, you know, they asked me in the summer, and you would have thought Adidas would try to make some money and make a 13, but I actually did ask for, is Russell going to make the jersey they're going to give me, since they made our jerseys way back when? But no, it's
that's all right. I'll be rocking the Geno Thomas 91 shirt.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
All right,
better watch out. You bring politics into games, they're gonna have a death threat on you.
Hey, there's always a death threat on him.
I'm good. Hey, Gino, appreciate it, man. I'll see you Friday.
Sounds good. See you guys.
All right, Gino.
All right,
See you Saturday, man. Thanks for coming.
The great Gino Toretto, man. Wow. What great memories. What great memories. All right, LT, we got AC Tellison on deck, man. He's been waiting patiently.
Yeah.
Let's knock out some business real quick here. Let's start by taking a look at the new CaneSport store.
Welcome to CaneSport.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, CaneSport has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. CaneSport, the spot Miami fans shop.
CaneSport, the largest. Oh, he changed. The largest selection of Canes gear that you'll ever find anywhere. Lamar can change jackets every 30 minutes when he's sitting inside CaneSport. They have it all: t-shirts, jerseys, polos, hoodies, hats, flags, decals, magnets, sizes for men and women and kids and babies. And if you have a pet, CaneSport will even dress your pet. And Dolphin season is in full force.
What are you, a runway model?
I feel like I'm in a Luke video. Without the girls, of course.
Dolphins gear, Panthers gear, Inter Miami soccer. Soon they'll probably even have Florida Beach Bowl shirts in there at CaneSport. I feel pretty sure that might happen. They're at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, right next to La Spada Sub Shop. In the same strip shopping center where they have been for years. So go there and visit them, 2655 South University Drive in Davie, or you can go to caneswear.com. They're open 24 hours a day. Obviously there, CaneSport has the largest selection of Miami Hurricanes gear that you will find anywhere. Tonight's show is also sponsored by the Florida Beach Bowl, which is coming to Drive Pink Stadium here in a few weeks, a new bowl game for historically black colleges that has been created by a former Cane, AC Tellison, right, who's been coming on the show here momentarily to tell us all about it. LT, tell us a little more about the Florida Beach Bowl.
All right, well, sure. I'll go get the read in. South Florida, are you ready for the highly anticipated Florida Beach Bowl? Scheduled for December 13, 2023 at 7:30 at Drive Pink Stadium in the city of Fort Lauderdale. This inaugural event features a showcase of historically black college and universities HBCUs from the SIAC and the CIAA football programs, which we know the teams now. Okay, so here I'll let him tell it. Battling it out on the sun-drenched shores of South Florida. This bowl game is all about uniting and showcasing Broward County as a whole. In addition to the main event, the Florida Beach Bowl is hosting a golf tournament, which I'll be playing, the 5K run, which I might go down there and walk a little bit, a community concert, and various special events, which AC will tell us more about, all designed to engage and uplift our community. For more information, visit www.floridabeachbowl.com or listen to AC Tellison. Come on in and tell us what's going on.
And tonight's show is also sponsored by Williamson Cadillac, where
Right.
LT goes to get all his phenomenal automobiles that he rides around town in.
Make
And
sure
it
you ask
usually
for Jermaine.
ask for former Kane Jermaine Chambers when you go there to buy your car. He'll take care of you, hook you up with the right manager, the right sales guy. LT always buys his car in multiples. That always helps. you might get cars that work. But no, in all seriousness, Williamson Cadillac, they'll treat you right, and go check them out. And then of course the law firm of Rotson and Faxadomo. And man, if you get yourself in trouble, Lamar, that's the place to go.
Oh, it's definitely a place to go. They've Ratson and Faxadomo down south have done an outstanding job. I usually have that long read, but I'm just going to tell you like this. Here's the deal. If you get in trouble, see that number on that 305 number? That's the number you need, because I'm telling you, they're going to represent you to the fullest, 100%. They're all about making sure that you feel good, your family feels good. They're going to get it done. They're going to get it corrected, and it's going to make for a better life. They've been nominated for awards for all the all the lawyer stuff, as you would say, the fan, all the lawyer stuff. They're one of the top law firms in South Florida. And if you have a young kid that's in college, keep this number too, because they handle a lot of cases. If you're in New York and you're watching and you got a kid going to University of Miami getting in a little trouble, this is a law firm for you. So Ratson and Faxadomo, they do an outstanding job. Take that number down. I can't see it because my eyes are
305-600-3519. 305-600-3519.
All right.
What do you mean?
And then we got one more LT.
Around you can't see? Come on,
well, I'm old, man. I have my glasses, man. And then the last one, obviously, Life Gym. Put it up there. CrossFit, Life. Let's see. If you feel a little uneasy about getting back into working out or nervous about CrossFit, Life gives you 3 free trials. So try it out. My wife, she goes there. She got hooked. She loves it. Every workout is modifiable to your specific abilities. So you don't have to feel a certain way if you can't keep up. Most experienced trainers in there, they do an outstanding job. And guys, I got to tell you this. This is something I found out. Now, I can't go in there, but I'm just giving the guys a little something. 8-to-10 ratio, women to men. Okay? So you got 8 women in there and 2 dudes. You might want to go down and take that. Now, I can't just show up there now. That's definitely I can't show up. But I'm telling you guys, 8-to-10 women. Come on, go try it out. 3 free sessions. Give them the address again, Gary. Life Athletics.
Wait, I think we have it. It'll be coming up on the screen here in a minute.
12330 Southwest 53rd Street, Cooper City, Florida. There you go.
It's in Cooper City. And let's tell the truth, Lamar. Like your wife goes there and she works so hard, man. She comes home all bruised up and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
But she's into that CrossFit. She loves it, man. She really enjoys it. I mean, she was a gymnast, so the CrossFit is right up the alley. She just loves it, man. She talks very high level. She wants me to come in there, but that ain't happening. That ain't happening. That's too.
Why, you don't like getting bruised up?
Well, it's a little bit too much work for me as far as
Because you never went to the weight room anyhow.
Well, first of all, I wasn't a weight room guy, and then to have to be in there, and they sound like they do a good job of pushing people. I don't want to be pushed. I got to do it on my own plan. So don't tell me to keep going. So that's it. But they do an outstanding job over there.
All right. Now it's time to bring on a guy that played wide receiver like he was in a CrossFit workout every time he stepped on the field. That's AC Tellison. AC, welcome to the Lamar Thomas Show.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate this, LT. How's it going, bro?
Everything is good. Everything is great. AC, we're going to start it off. Before we get to the other news, we want, just like with any other guest, We want to tell your story about how you got to the University of Miami from Bay City, Texas. Well, why?
Okay, well, let me start here. If you start throwing out those dates to me like you were doing to Lamar, Gino, this thing is going to go downhill real fast. Because I know you're using a cheat sheet, but I think Gino was going off the cuff, and I was impressed. I'm like, well, shit, Gino only looked that old and like he's got dementia, but he was on with those. I was really impressed. I was like, damn.
That's a good way to start your part of the show, man.
I know, right? Yeah, I love Gino.
Hey, I texted him a month ago because I knew. I don't know if Gary knew. I think Gary probably did that you were involved with this.
Right.
And I texted him and I said, "It's AC, right?" He goes, "He doesn't even respond." Now everybody knows the answer. What was the reason why we couldn't talk about it?
Yeah, with that, it was a lot of moving parts. Just trying to get, and we'll talk about that. But it was a lot of moving parts, and until we got things in place, and I think my partner, I think he's on the line. Is he on?
Victor Robinson.
I told him to log in because he can kind of.
He's there. Yes, I don't see
Victor Robinson. He can go into detail. Yeah. You don't see his picture? Yeah, he's the one that drug me into this, and we can talk about that. But so Bay City, huh, Lamar?
Yeah, let's talk about Bay City first before we get in this gold. Why?
Yeah, why Miami? Yeah. To be honest with you, my first cousin is Hartley Dykes. And by the time I graduated, he had put every school in the South in my area on probation. So
did he go to Oklahoma State?
He went to Oklahoma State. Yeah, that's my first cousin. Hartley was a hell of an athlete. He was an All-American in 3 sports, drafted in baseball, basketball. Yeah, he was. But yeah, every school down there was on probation, and they would just come to the school and they would look at me and like, "You're not going to come here, right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not going to come here." But I think I got my first letter from Jimmy Johnson, and of course he moved on. I think I was a sophomore at the time or whatever, and he moved on. And I always kept Miami in mind, but you would only see like highlights because TV wasn't like it is now. You can see everything. And I was thinking, okay, that's Miami. I know they're putting up a lot of points, and I remember Testaverde with the Heisman. And I was walking by TV one day, and I saw this band in Miami colors, and they was getting down. I was like, oh my God, if that's Miami band, I'm on my way. So
what was it, Florida
A&M? It was Florida A&M. Came to Miami looking for those guys. Well, I felt like somebody pulled a fast one on me.
You came to Miami because of Florida A&M's band?
Not because of Florida A&M. So far. Not because of Florida A&M, but like you say, we didn't have a lot of TV access. There was no rewind. I was walking by a TV. They were talking South Florida, whatever, and I see this band jamming with all these girls in Miami colors, and I'm like, yep, I'm on. Couldn't rewind it, so got to Miami and didn't see none of that. None of it. Actually, the opposite. So
you were in Dennis's first recruiting class. You get to Miami, and what you get down there? What do you see as far as like the receivers, obviously?
Yeah. So, well, let me just back up. So, like I say, we didn't have the internet or nothing. So you would get letters or whatever. In Miami, you knew Miami Advice, and you're talking to this coach, and you don't sound like Miami. You kind of sound a little country, which was Coach Tommy Tuberville. And I'm thinking, okay, well I haven't seen this guy. And then him and Coach Erickson show up on a visit, and it's just 2 white guys sitting in my living room talking Miami. But you look at the players, and the players don't look like the coaches, and I'm like, oh shit. So when they left, my mom looking at me, and she was like, you sure you want to go down there to Miami? And I'm like, yeah, we'll give it up. But yeah, I came in on my visit. It was during basketball season, so it was one of those times I would play Friday and take off on Saturday and only could stay until Sunday. So I was extremely exhausted, but I came in and I'm looking, and I saw Lamar, and I'm like, okay, shit, he's about 162 pounds. I'm like, this is going to be easy. I'm like, if this is a receiver, because at the time I think I was about 6'3", about 205. I had lost some weight because of basketball, and I saw Lamar, and I'm like, man, this is going to be easy. So I went back home, had a couple of trips. I originally committed to USC, and I just had a change of heart at the last minute. Didn't sign on signing day. Came to Miami. I just felt like, my high school coach told me, because I played mostly quarterback. I only played 1 year receiver, and I was able to put up all state numbers. And then I went back to quarterback. And he said, listen, if you want to be the best, you have to go and play with the best. He said, it's going to be a grind because you're going to have to make the adjustment, but that's where you need to go. And sure enough, that's how it happened. I came on to Miami.
Your junior year, let's skip to your junior year.
All right, here you go with these dates again. Here we go. Let's go.
Well, I'm skipping to the junior year because I know what happened in the first couple of years. Because
right.
You were behind me, so
right.
You snuck in there a couple times, and
let's go back to the first game that I snuck in after the hurricane. So you got to mind, you come to a school like Miami and you get redshirted, and you leave Texas and you're a big name. You come to Miami and you just kind of like disappear for a couple of years. Nobody know where the hell you at, or you still there, or whatever. And then after the hurricane, all eyes was on Miami because they didn't know what was going on. Would we have a team? Would we recover? What would happen? And we had that first game against Iowa, and I knew I had a good spring and I had a good summer camp, and Lamar was in and out of practice, right, during that time, kind of in and out some, in and out.
I was in and out of something. Sound like jail,
right,
but go ahead.
Right, yeah. So Coach Erickson came to me and said, "Hey, man, you got to start. Everything. You know what's going on with Lamar, and you're going to have the start. And hey, we're going to let you go." And I'm like, "All right, this is perfect." And I was like, "Damn!" I didn't know nothing about. I was just thinking, Lamar got into some trouble. I knew it was a little federal or whatever, and I'm thinking, well, shit, if keeping Lamar in jail or wherever the hell he is going to get me some playing time, I'm all for it.
So what did you do? You wrote the judge a letter saying, "Why don't you just move his trial up another 6 months?"
He would have.
I would have if I knew how to get in touch with it, but I definitely wasn't going to be wearing no free Lamar Thomas T-shirts. I wasn't going to be doing that. So everything said. When you start, you sit at the front of the plane, and I'm like, damn, is this what it's like up here? And I'm just chilling, and I'm got to start. I'm going over my playbook, and now Gino's speaking to me now because I'm in the huddle with the first team. And shit, I think we land and we get there, and dinner. Coach Olsen, I remember to this day, he said, "AC, Lamar is on his way." And I'm like, "On his way where? He's coming to the game." I said, "Well, they're going to let him play?" "Yeah, he's going to be able to play." He's like, "Don't worry, you're still going to start." And that didn't sit well with me because I knew something. It wasn't good. I'm like, oh, shit. So I'm fucking tossing and turning. I'm like, I heard Vernon Maxwell give this interview because I've told everybody back home, I'm starting. This is my coming out party. And I just felt like they're going to throw a fast one on me, not start me. I told everybody was watching back in Bay City. And I'm like, if Lamar coming, then, oh, man. Okay, so, but I get to start. Lamar comes. I'm like, all right, he warms up. He's a little winded. I'm like, okay, all right. I get to start, and Lamar comes into the game. Well, let me back up. Gino threw me a pass in this game. And then I'm going to say this, fast forward, I'm going to go back. Gino threw me a pass in the game, early in the game. And I'm like, damn, okay. And then it kind of like the game plan kind of shifted away from, I've never seen someone scheme against one of their own players. I'm like, what the heck? I said, I know when Lamar's in his position, he is catching balls right, left, and center. And I think Gino threw me like a token hitch just to be like, here.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Congratulations. And then like a week later in the locker room, Gino was sitting on the couch or sofa, and he was tired and he wanted some Gatorade. And he told me, "Hey, give me some Gatorade." He said, I'm like, all right, get your own damn Gatorade. He was like, "You remember that pass I threw you, AC? You won't get another one of those." I'm like, oh shit, let me get this Gatorade. So yeah, but I got to start. Lamar came in and kind of finished. I was giving him a breather, and I just felt like, you know what, Lamar could run all day. That guy was it. Lamar was, listen, despite you look at him and the way he acts, he's probably one of the most intelligent football players I've ever been around. A lot of those guys. I mean, a lot of those guys, Warren Sapp, he's a genius. Jesse, we had a lot of guys that were really smart, intelligent. Mike Barrow, just football players. And I learned a lot from Lamar. And I just remember that whole season. I'm like, well, shit, I won't start again unless Lamar get in trouble. So I used to just go up to Coach Erickson's office and be like, hey, Coach, you know Lamar didn't go to class this week. Lamar broke curfew, just trying anything to get Lamar back sideline, but that didn't work. But man, playing behind Lamar, although it was frustrating, I learned a lot. He was a smart football player. Really taught me a lot. He worked his ass off. I owe a lot to him because he taught me a lot.
Well, I can tell you this: one of the reasons why you didn't play a lot was because I looked at it like this. You were about 6'3", about 2-something. You could run, you could catch, you could jump. I said, I can't let him get on the field.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's when you're winning, when you have a good team, there are guys behind you that are just as good.
Right. And you meant that literally too. You meant that literally because good Lord.
I said, man, there's no way. This dude, he's big, he's physical, good-looking guy. He gonna take all my girlfriends and shit. I can't let him get on the field. Hell no. Coach Harris is like, hey, you gonna let AC play, son? Nah, not this week, Coach.
Yeah, but that's what made you guys great. You were afraid of your backups. I don't think that's going on anymore. All you guys, no matter what position you were, it was your backups that you busted your asses in practices. And you didn't want these guys on the field, but the competition was incredible.
You knew that if AC got in the game and made one big play, that was gonna be a lot of pressure on me. Damn.
Right, but I think you and Gino had something, man. Yeah, that game, boy, I tell you what. I'm like, look, I ran the same route Lamar did, and he got the ball, and Gino looked me off. I'm like, shit, I'm a big decoy out here, But I remember that me, Chris T, and Jonathan Harris, we just used to, if Jonathan caught 2 balls, we would just divide it. Hey, you got 3/4 of a pass. We just afros, yeah.
The afros, America's finest receivers on Saturday. That's what they call themselves.
Yeah. AC, what was your best game? What was your best game?
My best game, I would probably say like Syracuse, not because of any touchdowns or whatever, but I caught like 3 or 4 key third down to keep the drive moving. And that Carrier Dome was a tough place to play in. So they developed that. They put me in a slot inside the receiver. It was almost like Ryan would call it a tight end, but I stayed away from the word tight end. And they would put me in there and every third down, and I would just, keep the chains moving. So not because of touchdowns or amount of yards. I just think I caught 3 or 4 key third downs to keep the trains moving.
Third down.
Yeah.
Average 21 yards a catch your junior year.
Yeah, I averaged 21 yards a catch my junior year. I messed around and caught a pass that went for 0 yards, and had I been focused in and paying attention, I would have knocked it down. I think that lowered my average a little bit. But I was bouncing between Ryan and Costa, but I had a secret that anytime Ryan scrambled, I would just go deep. I would just take off. I'm behind everybody. So anytime Ryan, the offensive line was still getting things together. And anytime I saw Ryan in a little distress, I would just take off deep. And he was
so instead of coming towards him, you would go the other way.
I'd go deep. Yeah, I'd go deep.
Nobody gonna run. Wasn't nobody gonna run with you? That was the whole thing.
Sure.
Yeah, I would just run deep, and Ryan would find me, and we had a good thing going there for a while.
That's a good thing.
And the next time, let's say you get drafted by the Browns, and you spend a little time there, the Browns, Redskins, Rams, Bills, and Dolphins.
Yeah, jumped around. Actually, I went to the Browns, and I hurt my shoulder in the championship game, so I really wasn't quite healed. So they told me, listen, we drafted you to pretty much put you on the practice squad, let you get healed up. And what happened is if you're on the practice squad, anybody could pick you up. So I think the team was away one Saturday, and the Redskins called, and And I had an agent that was, said, hey, they're going to pay you more money. Just go. Screw them guys. They're not looking out for you. And I took off and went to Washington and went there and was up a week, and they put me on their damn practice squad. And at the time, the Browns had Andre Rison, Keenan McCardle, Michael Jackson, Derek Alexander. So they were stacked. So it really was set up for me to just chill out, because the next year they was going to Cleveland, which is to Baltimore, which is a funny story. I remember my rookie year going to my first training camp. There was a bunch of fans yelling out, hey, don't go, stay, don't go. And I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? I just got here. I didn't know anything about them, about the going to St. Louis, moving over to Baltimore. I didn't know about that. But when I look back, I just should have been patient, stayed there, because what happens is you don't get the type of love that you get from the team that drafted you.
Right.
And I remember Ozzie Newsome telling me, he said, AC, we drafted you for a reason. You didn't call us. You just took off and left. And we found out that you're in Washington from the waiver or whatever. And he said, now you're going to bounce around from practice squad to team. And damn it, he was right. And I ended up in the Dolphins my second year, and it was a gang of Canes down there. I was actually having a great camp. Fred Barnett had blew out his ACL, and kind of tore it up. And normally that would take you a year, and I was in there. And here comes Lamar again. I'm like, God damn, here comes Lamar.
Coming from the Bucks.
No.
I can't.
Ironically, he was coming out of jail again. I think so. I'm just.
Yeah, I was. Literally.
The only player who's
out of jail get twice. It's deja vu. He comes out of jail again, and I get there. He's getting in shape, and I'm like, all right. And I think I was in front of Lamar or whatever, and it felt. Listen, it felt so good coming out the game, telling Lamar, all right, get in there. Hey, go get him, kid. Taking off my helmet, drinking Gatorade, coaching him up on the sideline because he was still getting familiar with the plays. And was it almost the last preseason game? Bernie was there and Lamar was there. I was out there, and I finished my reps. I was out of the game just watching. I'm like, boom, boy, they gonna get rid of Lamar. I'm gonna be here. And I remember.
Hey, we got a guy in the lobby that wants to talk about the Florida Beach Bowl.
All right. This is my last one. I remember.
Get me on here. Get me on here.
Right. I'm gonna finish this story because this is where I remember specifically saying it's not enough time to do much, but just run it out. And something happened, and Kozar threw Lamar like an 80-some-yard bomb, and I don't know if it won the game or whatever it did. The next day, Lamar was on the front page, and he gave the damn ball to Jimmy Johnson, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
You got cut.
Got cut. Sure enough, Jimmy called me in there and like, AC, I got a lot of Canes around here. It's not enough room for all you guys. So he said, listen, I'm going to waive you, but stick around. St. Louis will pick you up, and you can. And that's what happened. They had a little trade with Billy Milner coming over with Troy Drayton, and they knew I would end up with the Rams. So, thanks to LT, but definitely appreciate that one, man. Well, twice out of jail. Got me.
Twice.
Twice out of jail. It's all love. All right, let's get to some business, man.
So let's talk about this Florida Beach Bowl, okay? With the teams have been announced. Can you say the names of the team?
Yes, sir. In fact, I'm gonna let this is my partner, Victor. He brought me into this venture. This was a dream of his, and he's a friend of Roundle's. And Roundle gave him my name, and he ran the idea by me. So I'm gonna let Victor take it from here, and then I'll just chime in when you need me. Go ahead, Victor.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, yes, we can hear you.
Don't say I'm Randall Friend too loud, man. Okay, that's not a badge of honor. But thank you, Lamar, for having us on the show, man. I don't think you remember me, but we know each other.
Where we hang out at? Don't. But just text me off there. Text me off there.
That's more like it.
Nah, but the Florida Beach Bowl, man, we were able to select two great teams. One from the SEAC, which is Fort Valley State, The other one from the CIAA, which is Johnson C. Smith. Both of them have a big fan base in Florida. They both end up their season 7-3, and they play a good brand of football, man. And one of the reasons that people was like, "Hey, you had a team that was 8-2. Why did you skip the team that was 8-2 to pick a team that was 7-3?" But they don't look at scheduling. People don't look at scheduling, don't look at matchup, don't look at traveling. When Lamar, you know a lot about this because, AC telling me how involved you are with the bowl game. So I'm pretty sure he had these conversations with you as well. When you're picking two teams to come play in a different city, you have to make sure these teams are equipped for that. Meaning for us like fan base, the support from the alumni, the sponsors. There's a lot that goes into actually selecting two bowl games. The difference between a classic and a bowl game, the classic, there's a year and something for those team alumni and student base to get. They know where they're going. But when you talk about picking a team within 3 months, 2 months to actually 2 months to actually get all their friends together to actually come to a new city, and the first year picking a bowl game, you better make the right choice. Because if you don't, it'll be you, Lamar, Randall Hill, AC Television, and the TV crew.
Yeah, it's actually less than 2 months. 1 month.
Yeah,
almost 1 month from the time we picked the team.
I think that was the hardest decision we had to make. It wasn't the record is good. You got to pick based on football because you want a good football game. But Lamar, as being a coach, you got to know what the defensive line look like, what the offensive line look like. Can they compete against each other? Because the worst thing that you want to have to start a bowl game is a blowout. That'll be your first and last.
Right.
So I'll let the AC jump in, and I definitely want your opinion, Lamar, because I do look at you as a committee member.
But there is a backstory to the game, right?
Definitely is a backstory.
They don't really, those two teams don't really vibe with each other.
Well, the backstory to the game first is that the athletic director the commissioner used to be the athletic director at Fort Valley.
Okay.
And that's in CIAA. So he actually became the commissioner in a SEAC, who's a team, and he's playing against a team that he left as the AD. So basically, he did the zigzag. You know what I mean? He left one job for another to come back to the job he left.
Okay.
And then what Johnson C. Smith did to Fort Valley was that they stole their coach.
Oh.
So they took their coach, and now, when the transfer portal came alive, so there was talk out there that certain coaches were trying to, approach other kids, so they really don't like each other.
Right.
So it's better to say get to the game early for some
Yeah. We just hope you don't want to end up in jail like you, Lamar. That's all.
Listen, if Lamar go to jail, something's good gonna happen to him when he gets out, or maybe something bad gonna happen to me when he get out. So, but
man.
But when you think about this bowl game was created to give historically Black universities a chance to play in a bowl game. As we know, last year, you look at FAMU, I don't think they went 9-3. Their first game was against Carolina with 21 players deemed ineligible. At the time, they really were not. Didn't play. They had a competitive game. But at the end of the season, they didn't get a playoff bid, so they sat home. And if you look up and down the HBCU schedule, you'll see a bunch of teams that are 9-2, 8-3, 7-3 that will not get a chance to play in the playoff game, and there's no bowl game out there for them. So what Victor came up with this idea, let's create a bowl game. He brought it to me, and now we kind of made it out of a business model that we were going to try to create other bowl games for these schools that are never get a chance. I remember how excited the kids were when we announced that they're going to be a part of the bowl. And the coach said something that really struck me. He said, some of these kids will graduate before the bowl game. So there was a chance that those kids would have, graduated and their last game was a victory and 7-3, and it ended right there. Think about being 8-2 or 9-2 or 8-3, and you don't have hope to get into the playoffs. And if you do get into the playoffs, they're shipping one team over to Pennsylvania in the mountains somewhere. They don't have the infrastructure. It's going to cost them money to travel. So our bowl game was built that we're the only private owned bowl game. I think Procter & Gamble owns 3 bowl games. ESPN owns 40. The 44th bowl game is owned by Victor and myself. And what we did differently, because we're dealing with schools that are underserved, our model is that our purse goes directly to the university. So we know that the money is going where it's needed. And that's my little spiel on it, just a little background on how and why this bowl game was created. It was created as an equal opportunity bowl game and also to level the playing field.
AC, I don't know where Lamar went, but he disappeared on us here for a minute. But how do people get tickets for the game, and how much are they?
Well, you can go to FloridaBeachBowl.com. The tickets all over Ticketmaster, Ticket Geek, and all over. But main thing is go to our website. It will redirect you to Ticketmaster and other. But tickets, we had a lot of ticket requests, a lot of traffic to our website, and the ticket starts at $15 for like the standing room only. It goes up to $75 for the premium tickets, and we also have some extra tickets where they are like, we have our own club live over there at the Drive Pink Stadium. You have fun. Lamar, we got a bottle waiting there for you, so don't worry. So yeah, definitely, it's gonna be a fun. We have 6 days of events from the golf tournament, a coaching luncheon, a prayer brunch. We have the 5K run. We have Fan Fest. Listen, this is not a classic. This is an NCAA sanctioned bowl game. It was hard as hell to actually get. We right now joking around with it, but it was not easy to obtain that sanction because, like AC would tell you, there are 41 bowl games. Florida Citrus on 2, okay? Florida Citrus Sports on 2, and now that's a major company. ESPN on the other 39, and mind you, so there's no minority, and not just a minority. There's not an individual period who own a bowl game. So for us, it's a great feat. I think it's a lot of responsibility, and we have chosen the committee carefully, and we put a lot of different efforts, sweat, blood, tear, money behind it, and for it to come to fruition as coming out, we really happy, man. And we just want to celebrate this for this Florida, Fort Lauderdale area, Miami area.
So I saw on social media the 2 teams, Johnson C. Smith and Fayetteville. Those kids were pretty excited. Fort Valley. I'm sorry, Fort Valley. They were very, very excited about the opportunity to play in a bowl game.
Yes, sir.
And so for the conferences to see this and these teams, and let's say, for next year. Now, I'm not trying to jump ahead, but just say for next year, some of these other teams that are 1AA, there's an option. There's an option for them to not go and be put in a hole going to a playoff game. They can go to a bowl game and actually collect some for the school, for the program, and basically have a good time. Think about it, a whole week of
Lamar, you've been in my email, Lamar. You've been in my email. I have received at least like 6 different emails from the schools that I won't name because, we didn't put in the bowl game.
Correct.
But these same schools you guys, HBCU love. We talking about FCF schools. Same thing Lamar's saying. So the interest is there. You'll be crazy to go, like the way college football works for HBCUs, you do not make money going to the playoff. It's not like you going to the bowl game series. When you actually a Division I FBS football, you win the championship by playing in bowl games, right? Your first game is in a bowl game. Guess what you're getting? A purse. Your second game, if you win, is the purse. Division 2, Division 1, HBC, the only thing that you getting, they pay for your travel sometimes, which is not enough. We know a school that went to the playoff last year, and they $125,000 in the hole.
This is definitely a better option.
Yes. Oh,
in
if nothing,
in the home that Messi built.
Yes, in the home that Messi built. If nothing else, if we start bringing these type of bowl games into fruition, the playoff series and how they do business may change. They may look and say, hey, these teams are opting out of the playoffs to go in these bowl games. Maybe we should do something about paying them to play in these playoff games. So either way, we're looking to kind of change the game and kind of even the playing field. It's you got thousands of kids every year that get shut out, and we just want to, give them an opportunity. Just one more game for some of these kids. So that's what we're doing.
So you talk about your emails. I'm sure that you guys have heard from hundreds of schools.
You'll be surprised, man. And the funny thing, Lamar, about this is that, and Gary, you could be a testament to that too as well. A lot of the sponsors will come in and say, why haven't somebody else done this before? The resistance that we get from people, this is such a great idea. Why somebody hasn't done it before? I said, just like it took somebody to build Yahoo, right?
Without a doubt.
Somebody to build Mercedes-Benz. Just because somebody hasn't done it doesn't mean it's not going to work.
Well, I hope you guys are getting support. It's a great idea, great concept. I'm sure it's been a lot of work and really hard on you guys. But I hope they bring some fan bases with them, and you guys are able to come out of this okay and build on it.
Definitely.
That's the goal.
Well, just talking to AC through this process, I think these two schools will be a perfect fit for the first game down here, the Florida Beach Bowl. I think it's as long as they bring in their bands.
The bands are coming.
They're coming. Hey, Lamar, you able to play golf, man?
Huh?
You gonna be able to play some golf?
Yeah, I might be able to get out there a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that good, but I might be able to get out there a little bit.
That's all Lamar does. No, play golf.
But now we have a press conference tomorrow.
Okay.
We have a virtual press conference tomorrow on it's on our TV partners, HBCU Plus.
Okay.
And Lamar AC will share that information with you guys. But I guess when we get up the air, where you guys can come in, and definitely would love for you to be there, Lamar, and because you are part of the team, you actually been supporting us since day one. Lamar jokes a lot on here, man, but listen, I think from what I heard from AC, from what he been doing for us, man, I'll be honest, he really support the bowl game from the advisory role and also the support and guiding us. So you are part of the Florida Beach Bowl, my brother.
I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to coming to the Dry Pink Stadium, enjoying that whole week. I'm gonna be just like the people from those schools. I'm coming down to enjoy myself.
Yes.
Be at home though.
And don't enjoy yourself too much, or you'll be using those attorneys that you just posted.
Yeah. not that much. But man, hey guys, on a serious note, man, I'm so proud of you guys and what you guys put together. I can't wait to see this thing go through, and it's a great deal you guys put together, and many more to come. How about that?
Sounds good, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the platform, man. Love you, bro.
Best of luck, guys.
All right,
thank you. Appreciate you guys coming on. Appreciate you, AC. I'll see you this weekend.
Okay.
All right. Let's bring Bruce back in here.
Wow.
And I guess Saturday at noon, man. I mean, I don't even know what I don't even know. I'm scared. This season has just been crazy. I've been like yakking it up with the guys on the comments here for the last 20 minutes or so.
Saturday at noon.
I hope it comes together. TBD.
I hope they're selling tickets. because I don't know if they're selling tickets.
Oh, they're trying hard to sell tickets. But TVD met with the media today, and I was going to try to put it on the screen. I don't know where
it was on, Chris.
There it is. Yeah,
did it come up? Did it come up?
Yep.
There it is.
Oh, you guys are seeing it. I'm not.
I want to accomplish my dreams of playing in the NFL. Will do my best, and I love the game. But I'm not going to let that consume my happiness. I don't want to be upset the rest of my life because football doesn't go my way.
So he's trying to get his head together, Is
there more to that?
No, there was a whole bunch more, yeah. But that was just a little piece that we pulled out. But he's trying to clear his mind. He's trying to get his head together and come out there and play a good game Saturday. They need him to, Lamar. I mean, this is a game. You got him at home. It's national TV. You've had a whole month and a half of disappointment here, major disappointment. And they just need something good to happen that validates all the work they've put in and the progress that they've made.
Yeah, that's and to be honest with you, talking to some of the coaches at Louisville, they were already setting up to be able. They thought that if they could win and be in, they were going to bench. They weren't going to play a lot of their players because they thought they were in the ACC championship. And that was the whole thing. Talking to some of their coaches, they're like, "Hey, if we can get in, we're not going to play our guys against you guys." But now they got to play them. I think the two teams are kind of similar in a way. They both like to run the football. I think we have a better passing game, but I don't put anything past Jeff Braun because he's a hell of a coordinator.
He is,
and he's a Petrino disciple, and he knows the offense. And their defense. I think our defense is better. So we just got to go out and execute. I think that's what it boils down to: executing and not turning the ball over. It's simple football. Don't turn the ball over and just execute and just be consistent. If you want to run the ball, run it, but hit them with a play action pass every now and then. Get those safeties to suck down, throw it over the top, complete the pass, make some plays, make plays for your quarterback. And that's the way I see it. I really don't think Louisville is that good. Myself personally, I've watched them, but this season has been crazy. If you allow this team to play with you, they'll look like world beaters, and we'll have to try to figure it out. I'm just thinking we go out there and do what we're supposed to do, we'll win the game going away.
All right, Bruce, parting thoughts?
I think that we've come from behind minus 10 points 4 times this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen on Saturday. We're going to beat these guys. I think for the first time in a long time, we're going to come out and jump on them. I think we have to get the crowd, whatever crowd there is involved. It's Gino's day. I think Miami's going to come out and jump on these guys. And it sounds to me, based on what Lamar just said, these guys are a little cocky.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, we're going to have to play our guys because we need this game. That's crap.
I got knocked off of here because one of their coaches was calling me to talk crap. So,
crap. Yeah. See, I think if we jump on these guys, I think we're going to beat these guys. I think we win by a field goal. I do. I don't think we're gonna play poorly. I think it's kind of like out of our system already. We're not going anywhere. We're 6-4. Let's just go out there, as you guys used to say, and kick some ass. Just kick their ass and be
crush them like bugs. That's what.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. Against Boston College, don't ask me because if it's cold, which it's cold up there now.
Let's work on one game at a time.
One game at a time, man. Yeah.
I hear you.
All right, Bruce.
Hey, guys. Hey,
Bruce,
hey, do you have AC's number?
Yes, I'll send it to you. Hey,
tell him to call me. Give him my number.
9:30. Get your tailgate on. We'll be there 9:30.
I'll be there with Caesar. Okay. He's down here again.
All right.
All right, Bruce.
All right. See you guys.
Yep. All right, LT. Let's do some quick word association here.
All right.
And bring this thing home. Gino Toretta.
my man Gino Marino, my guy. Hey man, I'm so happy for him. You know, I think back, he changed my life when he convinced me to stay. So you know, we've been cool with each other for years. You know, and I think that to me was a big thing. You know, he told me the truth and said, hey, you might want to stay here and it's going to work out for you, and it did. So I'm always trust him, and hopefully he always trust me. And you know, I'm just happy for him. He deserves it. And you know, he was my quarterback.
Jacoby George.
Jacoby George is playing out of his mind right now, and that's a good thing because somebody is going to have to step up. You know, obviously, Young, Restrepo, those guys. You know, Restrepo double covered, Young inconsistent at times. George has probably played the best out of all of them, and he's quietly putting together a good year. And so I want to see that continues. Kudos to Kevin Beard and Cooney for the job they've done with those receivers. They're doing a hell of a job. They're playing well, you know. But as we well know, it's all about the quarterback play. So
hopefully he can bounce back, which brings me to TVD.
Well, you said that he sounds like his head is a lot clearer, because I think that's what's holding him back right now. Inside his head, there got to be a lot of confusion, because right now he does not look like the same. He has not looked like the same guy since Texas A&M. And so if he can somehow find that magic for these next couple games, it's going to be beautiful. But he has to find that magic, and he has to they got to put together a game plan. Put together a game plan where you take it out of his hands in a way where the completions are there, the run game is there, everything is there. Don't let him think too much, and let him go out and play. And
help him out a little bit. Let him build some confidence.
Throw the ball around the yard a little bit. How about that?
He's been going back and watching tapes of his good games from 2021,
right?
The Texas A&M game, for example, to remind himself of what he can be. Great idea, you know, in my opinion. All right, LT. Well, we'll see what happens in this new adventure on Saturday. I'm looking forward to seeing all you guys and seeing Gino get his jersey retired. We got to thank Gino for coming on tonight. AC Tellison, the Florida Beach Bowl, for giving us a little insight into how that game came together. We got to thank CaneSwear, our presenting sponsor, for hosting you tonight. The largest cane store ever created. Tons of great merchandise in there. Lamar showed you some of the jackets tonight. Get yourself over to CaneSwear at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, or at caneswear.com. We got to thank, obviously, the Florida Beach Bowl and the law firm of Rotson and Faxadomo, where you can get great aggressive representation from skilled criminal lawyers if you get yourself in trouble. From Williamson Cadillac, where Lamar goes to buy his fine automobiles that everybody sees him driving around in. And then Life Athletics, where Lamar's wife goes to get herself all bruised up and in shape. They're at 12330 Southwest 53rd Street in Cooper City, Florida. If you want to get yourself a good workout and like I said,
three free classes too.
Yeah, they will work you over there at Life Athletics. All right, LT, big week for the Canes. We'll be back next Wednesday night.
We can't forget about
we can't forget about La Spada.
Yeah, we can't forget about La Spada. I'm gonna
tell home of Lamar's ham and cheese sandwich.
I'm gonna tell this tonight. You
eat that late, huh? Wow.
Yeah, I usually take a bite or two, then I go home and finish half of it, and then save the rest of it for the next day.
The other half for lunch tomorrow.
Yeah, it's pretty big, man. It's pretty big, but it's great. It's great.
All right, and of course, we thank everybody for watching tonight and watching the replays during the week. We will be back next Wednesday night to chop it up. Wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and see how the Canes do against Louisville. So for Lamar, I'm Gary. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Go Canes.